everything we attempt to do online should just mirror what we know works offline. That statement is so profound and so powerful and yet so often glossed over, I can't even begin to tell you. And I want to use this session, in addition to answering any and all of your questions live, like I always do. But I want to use this session to point out this notion of like what we attempt to do online is just mirrors, just duplicate what has always worked for years and years, in some case centuries offline. Okay, and this applies directly to, like, everyone's like, hey, Art Storefronts, can we see some website examples? Can we see some examples of websites that you built for artists? And yeah, I'm always like, yeah, no problem. They all look the same. They all look the same. And everyone's like, well, what do you mean? I thought you had a bunch of templates and such. And they all look the same. And I'm like, yeah, they all look the same for a reason. And the reason that they all look the same, okay, is this. What is the best way in the world to both view and purchase art? It's either in a museum or in a gallery. What do all museums and all galleries all across this planet, every country, why do they all look the same? You ever think about that? Every art gallery, okay, every retail art gallery that is selling art, and every museum, they all look the same. White walls, lights on the art, nothing else. Nothing else. And that is the paradigm that people purchase and view art. And so what we should be doing, okay, online with our websites is mimic that exact same thing. Mimic the buying experience that exists in the real world. Okay. So many artists and photographers get this wrong. And I know because I visited so many of your websites, even so many of our competitors, if you like, that offer competing websites, or maybe you rolled your own on WordPress or used like a pretty template on Squarespace. People use like loud fonts and different colors and complicated layouts and sometimes moving slideshows and sometimes music, although thank God the music's largely gone away. This is not how you want your website to look, okay? You don't want there to be so many doggone distractions that it would be a miracle if anyone actually saw the art, let alone purchased the art. And yet that's what everyone does on their own, because artists and photographers left to their own devices are like, hey, I know framing, I know layouts, I know colors, I know the rule of thirds, I know exactly what a website should look like. No, you don't, because a website should look exactly like the retail art buying experience. Okay. And so I saw something on Instagram, and you guys are going to love this, because this guy, I think he's honestly probably, he's certainly going to be the top 5, I think, top 10 greatest salespeople or greatest artists of this generation in terms of sales already. I think he's probably there. But it's this French guy, Marc Maggiore, and I would pronounce his last name right. Someone needs to tell me. So I saw something on his profile over the course of the weekend, and I was like, whoa, what a huge power flex this is. So what I want to do is I want to show you, okay? And so why it's a power flex, because I think this guy sells literally everything he creates in 2 seconds and for very, very high prices already. So I want to show you what this looks like. And this guy is walking through, okay, his gallery showing, wherever it was, and look at the power flex on this. Okay, this is what you do when you are a best-selling artist, to reinforce, okay, the fact that you are a best-selling artist. And he does a damn great job of it. I love this guy's marketing across the point. But look at this. He's walking through his gallery, okay, and all of his art's on display. And do you notice he's pointing at the placards, okay, and every single solitary one of them has a red dot on it. I mean, he sold everything. I mean, look at him. He's just sauntering through. Fashionable French guy. He's got the rolled up sleeves, the shirt buttoned down, the chain, the belt, the whole thing. This guy's super fashionable. I love him. Red dot, red dot, red dot, red dot. There's a red dot absolutely everywhere. And this is his way of signaling to you, if you get a shot, okay, at one of my originals, you better take it. And if you don't take it, guess what? There's a whole lot of people that are waiting that will, right? Red dot, red dot, red dot, gone, gone. I just sold them all. What's up? And then the mic drop, boom, right? That is a power flex of the highest order, of the highest magnitude. But this notion, you guys, this notion of putting a red dot, all right, on the work is something that has been the case in retail forever and ever and ever. If you have a show, you need to indicate to people that if something is sold, there's the red dot, right? And so I started this thing out and I was saying everything that we attempt to do online should just mimic what goes on in the real world. And the red dot is that signal, boom, right? And so this is the kind of thing that gets into all of our thinking at Art Storefronts, right? Like here I have a website pulled up. Shout out to Betty Franks. It's Betty Franks' website. And notice the red dot. Okay, this is the sold section on her website, but these are all originals that have sold, right? And on every single solitary one, we put the red dot. Our software does at Art Storefronts. And the reason being is that we want our artists to be able to signal in the same fashion that Mark just did right there, that my art is selling, my originals are going quickly. And if you don't get in quickly, the original is going to be gone, right? It's a subtle way of signaling a power flex, right? Of saying like, I am an artist that is selling. I am on the up and up. If you don't get a hold of my originals quickly, guess what? You know, they're going to be gone. And it's just this perfect example. Everything that we do, okay, everything that we do online is just to duplicate what works in the real world. In this case, if you sold something, you want to signal to everyone, I sold it, okay? I sold a piece and boom, it's gone, right? And so I think that's really, really important. I think it's really, really important. And I'll open things up, by the way, to all of your questions. Love to answer any and all of them. Bugface Paint says, what if you sell services primarily? Won't it be different layout than a product base? Yeah, it will be. Services are a little bit different. You know, if you're just selling services, then, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to look like an art gallery, and it doesn't necessarily need to mimic and display that purpose. And, you know, you don't have to put sold stuff on it. It's a little bit different. So if you're just doing services, that's different. Yeah, and El Cason says, is there a way to do that with pieces that are sold outside of Art Storefronts? And I assume you're an Art Storefronts customer and you sold it outside. Yeah, absolutely. Ask Tech, they can get you to show that banner like all day long. And to be honest with you, okay, I appreciate having integrity. I think it's very important to have integrity, but I also think, you know, if I'm working this coffee bar, is it coffee bar? Looks like an actual bar. If I'm working this bar behind us, okay, and I just started my shift and I put the tip jar out, I'm going to take a couple of bucks out of my pocket and put it into the tip jar to grease the skids, to prime the pump, to let people know like, hey, you can tip, okay? You know, put some dollars in here. So let's say you're just getting started, right? And you haven't sold a doggone thing. I would sell an original to somebody for $1, okay? Just to say I maintain my integrity that I've sold it, right? A transaction happened to us for $1, and then put a sold sticker on one, because it's important. These subtle psychological cues are important to establish like you're an artist on the up and up, right? All right, Azel Art Shop, how do you do this for a print? You can do it for the same thing for a while. It only works really for originals and limited editions that have run out, right? So if you're a photographer, you need to have some limited editions, have some series of 1, have some series of 2, have some series of 4, right? And then you can signal that those things have sold. And you know, one of the other ways that we do it too is that we have these special pages that you can leverage if you're running a live art show. And when you run a live art show, you know, all of those pieces you're trying to move. They're various different sizes. It's whatever you have in your inventory. Boom, sold sticker goes on every single solitary time. It's just really, really powerful. And yeah, El Casone is like, I'd like to post the pieces that I've already sold now. Yes, you would put them on there. Have a sold section. It's sort of like, you know, it's sort of like its own you know, press section on your website. Like it signals powerful signals to anyone that looks at your work like, whoa, okay, if I don't get going on this, like, you know, do you think anyone that sees this on this guy's Instagram doesn't go like, okay, if I ever get a shot at buying this guy's original, I better jump immediately. I better start making inroads, because if this guy puts something on the wall with a sold sign, with a for sale sign on it, somebody is going to snap that up quick, regardless of the price, and it's probably going to appreciate. And with him and some of his originals, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, this guy's on his way to being one of the best. Everyone should follow him too, because one of the things that I love about this guy is that he 100% markets himself. and does it consistently all the time. And he doesn't just hide behind his work, which is some of the best out there. He is constantly showing himself off, showing a little window into his world, his wife, his kids, what he does for fun, the concerts he goes to, all the rest of the stuff. So absolutely love that guy's marketing. I think it's absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So how do you hold a live art show, Carol? I've got a really, really good guide on how to do it from start to finish. That you need, if you just search, I should have it stitched up to a keyword, but if you send me a message, Carol, if you send me an Instagram direct message and say, hey, send me the live art show guide, will you? I'll send you the guide. I made a whole free, incredible step-by-step how to approach the entire thing, and what to do. Yeah, so Katya, his name's Mark Maggiore. Let me just get his handle. Did I have his handle somewhere? Hold on, I will. I'll get his handle right now, and I'm going to pin it. I think everyone should follow him because no joke, he's you know, he's got to be in the top. He's got to be in the top 10, the top 5 like best that are in the game right now. You know, I don't have like specific information on his figures, but you know, there's certain ones that I'm like, okay, you know, you got to follow this guy because what he's doing is, I mean, he's playing checkers when everyone else is playing chess, or I guess he's playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers is the right way to say it. Hold on, I got you. I'm going to leave a comment here. Hold on, you guys. Okay. I just left a comment and I'm going to pin it. I think everyone should follow this guy. And then if anybody knows him, tell him Art Storefronts wants to talk. You know, I'd love to have him on the platform. Give him a free plan because I think he's just doing such a phenomenal job. Like, you know, everyone loves to point to, especially like, you know, what an artist or a photographer does and what they need to do in terms of their marketing, what they need to sell and what they need to look at. And it's like, okay, don't follow any of these people that have been named like top contemporary artists, the top 50th contemporary artists living and all of that. Like all of those guys have great stories, but a lot of those people are stuck in the older paradigm where they never did any marketing, but they did some incredible things to get noticed, to become that professional athlete, that professional artist, the top 1/10% of artists and photographers working. But it's really, really hard to get there trying to follow the way that they do it, which is like, oh, I only sell originals and I only do this and I only do that. Like there's a lot of moves that you can make as an established artist that you can't make as an emerging artist because you have to make enough noise, okay, and turn enough heads and get enough attention such that you might even have enough demand to be able to sell like those people do. But him, in his case, you know, he's selling all of it direct. I'm sure he's in a gallery here or there, but on very, very favorable terms. And so he's just one of the ones that I love following, right? Love following Weiland and talking about Weiland all the time. Love following and looking at for photographers, Gray Malin and what a great job he does, right? And you notice with a lot of these contemporary artists, they're running promotions. They're having sales, you know, they're multiple millions of dollars a year in sales. And yet they themselves are still showing up every single solitary day and doing the marketing, doing their own marketing, showing themselves off. I mean, I might as well do like a screen share to show you what I'm talking about, because how often do I rant at you guys? Like, you can't just hide behind your art or your photography. It's not going to work. You need to be personable. You need to give people a window into your world, right? And in his case, I've got him pulled up here. Hold on. I've got to add my phone to the screen. Just bear with me, guys, a second. This will just take me a sec. Let me get it up. Where is it? I had to stop my other one. Where is he? It is here. Yep, that's it. So you go to his profile, right? And you look at it. I'm going to add it to the stage now. Where is it? Here it is. You know, here he is at a concert, right? And, you know, if I was backstage at Chris Stapleton, I'd probably be flexing on that too. But he's constantly not just showing the artwork. Okay, there he is showing the artwork, and you guys all do this and everyone does this, and that's fantastic, and you can do that. But you better follow it up with you know, here I am doing it. And by the way, look at this flex. Look at the size of the stack of the prints that this guy's got going on. But I love that he involves himself like constantly in his own marketing, right? And he's given a little window into who he is, what he does. He's talking directly to the camera, like, you know, when you find the greats and they just don't ever stop. Here it is. Here's my family by this beautiful river. Like, does a great job of it. And you know, those are the important ones to follow. The ones that are actually killing it in today's day and age by today's rules, right? And selling direct. So I thought that was a very telling look at an artist absolutely worth following. And yet, you know, who's another one that I really think is doing a fantastic job. And you know, I'm going to date myself here because and I would love to get him on the podcast too. I've got to contact somebody that knows him. But you guys know who Justin Bua is? Like super distinct style, right? And when I was in college, everyone had the saxophone piece that he did, and it's a guy playing the saxophone. I don't know, super distinct style, right? Hold on. Like he's doing reaction videos now. He's doing a great job marketing. I'm really impressed by him. He's like totally embracing it. Why can't I get a still shot of one of his? He's doing so much video. I can't even see a regular still post of one of his pieces because his style is like so unique. But he's another great one to follow that I think is just doing an absolutely great job. You know, I see him doing a ton of live streaming, or at least he used to. I don't know why he stopped. He's got to get back on it. He was really good at it. Is that one? Yeah, you can kind of see his style there. Like a version of that saxophone guy in the background was like the dorm room piece that everyone wanted to have when I was in college, which is way too long ago to even talk about now because I'm getting old. But with the time we have left, any questions you guys have? Any art marketing questions? Pricing, branding? Yeah, see, like people still know who he is, right? He has a great Instagram. Sidekick Kato agrees with me. Like, you know, I love these artists that, like, you know, showed people who they are and give people a window into their world. And it's like, look, nobody's great on video. Nobody loves being on video all the time. I hate being on video, but you got to be contrarian about these things in today's day and age. Like if you show yourself a little bit, right, and you give people a little window into their world, it turns out there's a tribe of people out there that love people like you, and that is how the connections form, and that's just like how things start to build. And it's an incredible thing to see. So I really enjoy that. So that is the lesson for today. You know, everything that we attempt to do online, you guys, is just mimicking what happens in the real world. And if you make a sale on an original, the red dot goes on, whether it's on your website or not. You start doing this and you're playing by the rules that has sold millions and millions and millions of art forever, right? Forever. Yeah, El Casone, I signed up for a full service. Send me a message about that, and I'm more than happy to figure out how things will fall into the cracks. It sounds like you're with us. If you're with us, we can certainly get you back on track. Just send me a direct message right now, and as soon as this is over, I'll go look for it. Other than that, appreciate all of you guys. It's Monday. It's another week. Let's get it. You know, I'm having a Zoom session in an hour, so if you want to join me on that, you certainly can. That'll be in just a little bit. And yeah, other than that, appreciate all of you guys. Great rest of your week. Yeah, can't wait to see you. Inner Child Photo Works, just contact customer support. They'll know how to find that. You know how worthless I am with like the inner workings of what we do and tech questions. I'm pathetic. I'm the marketing guy. And to the hammer, everything looks like a nail. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.